Pat, just overall, how would you assess your first season in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think that, I did a good job adjusting to the style of the NFL and, the long season, stuff like that. I think there was points like later on in the season, I think after like week 10 or 11 maybe, that I kind of got a little complacent for a couple of weeks. But then I think the Browns game and the Ravens game started picking it back up. And I just got to make sure I stay consistent throughout the whole year. But I think overall I had a great rookie season, and I think I met some of my goals. And, I just got to continue to work for that for my next step in year two.
Brooke Pryor, ESPN.
Yeah, Pat, you mentioned that complacency. What kind of contributed to that, and how did you work through it to get back on track?
Yeah, honestly, I think obviously, I was in football for, I think 18 months or something like that, going back to college. We go to college to train for the draft and then right into rookie minicamp at OTAs and stuff. So we didn't really have a break. So I think got to a point where it was just a lot and stuff like that. And I think that, it really took me some time to talk to, my loved ones, my mom and my dad, and even guys on the team like Ben and stuff like that, to especially Ebron and Zach, just to kind of talk to them about how to get through that and kind of break that, kind of complacency. So I think they helped out a lot on that, and credit to them for helping me get through that and helping me kind of push towards the last final stretch of the season.
Noah Strackbean.
Hey, Pat, what kind of relationship did you build with Zach Gentry this season, and how comfortable are you guys, as that tight end 1-2 package on the field?
Yeah, man, Zach's one of probably my best friends on the team. He's a great guy. We hang out a lot off the field. I think that we play really well together. I think that he does things that maybe I don't do so well, and I think that I do things that maybe he doesn't do so well. So I think we really complement each other nicely, and I think that we bring a nice dynamic on the field when we're both on it together, and when he's on it and I'm off. So I think just we work really well together, and I'm excited for our future moving forward.
Tim Benz.
Pat, do you think that there are sort of bigger picture, bigger goal visions that Matt Canada has for his offense that he wasn't able to implement this season? And if so, how do you see them growing next year?
Yeah, I think everyone's goal is to win a Lombardi, and I think that, whenever we come up short of that, then we have to kind of look ourselves in the mirror and realize and kind of figure out what we can do to get to that level of winning a Super Bowl. So I think that, we all have questions on the offense that we have to figure out in each position group, and it's not just Coach Canada, it's really everyone on the offense. So, like I said, we all have to figure out things that we can get better at that, evidently get us to our goal of winning a Super Bowl.
Nick Farabaugh.
Hey, Pat, you talked a little bit about complacency and kind of what you want to improve at. Overall, as you move to year two, what's the one part of your game that you look at and say, man, I really want to improve that part of my game and to become a better all-around player overall?
Yeah, obviously I think that I need to improve in my inline blocking. I think I'm a pretty good blocker out in space and stuff like that. I just need to continue to be able to, have the coaches have trust in me and have confidence in me to be able to move DNs in the run game and be at that point of attack blocker. So, when I go on the field and stuff like that, it's not kind of he's going to go run a route, or he's going to come back and split flow, or he's going to block in space. They don't really know what I'm doing when I'm out there. So I think just that kind of aspect of my game, and obviously just get it better at, my routes, and just you can always work at that level and run after Coach Tomlin always talks about. So just get more comfortable with that and stuff.
Chris Adamski.
Hey, Pat, you had a couple concussions, or at least evaluated for concussions this year, missed a game. Was that hard? Was that a hard week or anything? And then is there any sort of worries you have about that going forward, or anything in terms of, once you have a couple like this, or do you have any past with that, concussions or anything?
Yeah, no, I've never had a concussion before this year. And I think definitely the first one I kind of was like, oh, it is what it is. It happens and stuff like that. But the second one, there's obviously some worry with it. It's your brain, and obviously, you can't really fix that or anything like that. So there's definitely was some worry, but we got the best medical staff, and I'm pretty sure the whole country and the NFL and stuff like that. So they were great with me and not rushing me and making sure that I was comfortable to go out there and play. So credit to them to make me feel comfortable. But I don't see it being an issue. I just see it. It's a physical sport we play, and my position is obviously really physical over the middle of the field. So big hits like that's going to happen, and I recovered from both of them very good, and I'm totally fine.
Brooke Pryor.
Yeah, Pat, when you look at the offense overall, just how steep was that learning curve for you to kind of adapt to it and adapt to the scheme? And at any point, did you feel like maybe Canada had to hold some things back because you guys were new as a group as the season went on?
Yeah, it was definitely tough, learning it at first, but I think the OTA periods really helped, just kind of, the walkthroughs and stuff and extra reps before camp, just because, coming from college, most colleges don't even huddle, and they use one word kind of lingos, and everyone kind of knows what to do on those plays and stuff like that. So just kind of being in the huddle and hearing Ben, say the plays is kind of obviously an adjustment with that part. But I don't really know if he was holding stuff back because we were new. I think, obviously we were comfortable with each other at a certain point in the season, but, I think that's just, how he rolls. And I think that, if he wanted to try something new, we were all open to it. But if it didn't work in practice, we weren't going to run in the game. So I think that, his offense was, obviously there were some challenges, but I think we kind of worked through them throughout the whole year.
Ray Fittipaldo.
Touchdown production was there. You had a bunch of catches, but maybe not, the receiving yards that maybe you were looking for. How do you see your role evolving as a pass catcher in this offense now that you know what it's like and, your experience from this year?
Yeah, obviously I think that, with the year I had this year, teams are going to kind of watch the short intermediate routes with me, like those flat balls and the hook to curls and stuff like that. So, I definitely have to get a little more comfortable and be more asked to, run downfield more and run those deeper routes, which I think that, this offseason is going to be big for me, being able to showcase that I can do that and work on doing that. So, I definitely just got to get the ball more downfield and, not be that first tackle, first catch guy. So just continue to run after the ball and all that kind of stuff.
Jeff Hawthorne.
Hey, Pat, what are your thoughts on the two internal candidates to be the next starting quarterback in Mason and Dwayne?
Yeah, I think they're awesome. I think they're great quarterbacks. I think obviously Mason has obviously a longer career. I think that he, there's some, trust in him within the offense and stuff like that. And, he did a good job in the Lions game and stuff like that. I just think that sometimes we didn't put him in the right situation as a playmakers to, make him look as good as he could have. He's a great quarterback. And I think, Dwayne's obviously a good quarterback too. I think, he came in and he worked really hard and, he did some good things in OTAs and in practice, stuff like that. So I'm excited to go in the offseason and see, what they do and when we come back, how they look.
All right, I'm going to get to the last two here. So Chris Adamski.
Pat, how much different is it going to be? Obviously, so that saying, when you're a rookie going to the NFL, there's a lot of unknowns and not knowing, kind of, I don't know, the faith of performing at this level. Now that you're established and you'll probably be the, barring something totally unforeseen, the, kind of number one tight end going into the year next year, instead of being the rookie, you'll be kind of almost a leader. How much different is this offseason going to be for you and your way you approach 2022?
Yeah, obviously I think going into every year is different. Obviously, when you go into college as a freshman, you don't really know what to expect. You don't really know what to work on because you haven't kind of experienced anything. So I think, going in this offseason, I know what to work on. I know what to get better at. And, obviously on and off the field, as a leader and stuff like that. So, I'm excited because I know specifically what I need to work at and specifically what I need to do to get better. So I'm excited to attack that as best I can.
All right, last question, Nick Farabaugh.
Yeah, Pat, you talked about improving on that inline blocker type of thing. Did you kind of feel like, one, I guess this is two-part. One, when you talked about split flow action, did you think teams kind of keyed in on you when you were kind of at that H-back kind of tight end role, hybrid role, and you ran split zone? And two, as an inline blocker, what specifically do you need to improve on? Is it your hands? Is it your strength at the point of attack? Is it your pad level? What do you feel like overall you need to improve on?
Yeah, obviously with the more film you put on, I think that teams get certain keys on certain things. So obviously, I think they would, if I was off in that position, they kind of, in a way, knew I was coming back, pulling or something like that. So I think they kind of keyed on it, yes. And I think just point of attack blocking, be able to move people. So I think that's my everything, my upper body strength, core strength, my footwork, strike, everything. So I think I just need to fine tune everything, and I'm confident that I'll be able to do it next year.